Hello. This is the video about analyzing text-based data, the type of data you will get from an interview. Before we begin, we need to understand the difference between summary and analysis. Look at these two paragraphs. Which one is summary and which one is analysis? And how do you know? Take a moment to pause, read, and answer those questions. After reading, you will see a strong difference between the two paragraphs. You can tell that one paragraph is really surface level. It's mostly summary. It just identifies main points, such as the question and the answer of the interview. It is also super listy. It's just description. Summaries can be very helpful, but they don't give the reader the full picture, and they can be pretty boring. When we get interview data, it will be tempting to just tell the reader all the quotes you got. When you do this, though, you aren't making any claims or analyses. You're making the reader do that. As the other paragraph shows, analysis actually makes conclusions. You're more selective of data. You break things down, make connections, and make judgments. A lot more of your thinking is going on with analysis. Here's a metaphor to reiterate. Say you're going to Chili's with your friends. Everyone gets the same menu. That menu is summary because it just recites basic descriptions and prices. It's the same for everyone. Analysis, on the other hand, would be what everyone orders. The order that you make is determined by your own time, money, and cravings. You will personally evaluate your options to find what is best suited for your needs. So even though everyone has the same menu, the same summary information, we make different orders and conclusions. Writing is about making choices or conclusions and explaining the reasoning behind them. What combination of time, money, and craving gave you that order? What combination of other factors led you to that conclusion? So what does this mean for analyzing qualitative data? It means we make a conclusion about information and explain how we got there. When you get interview data, it will be just a lot of text. When you get that, you will need to code it to make it accessible. Coding is the process of labeling sections or details of text for trends or other measurable aspects. When I say details or sections, these would be words and phrases from the quotes themselves that you find significant. How do you know if something is significant? That's a good question, because it might seem like everything is important, kind of like when you want to highlight everything in the textbook. Here are some guiding ideas then to help you narrow down what is truly significant in a text. You could code things that are new to you, unexpected, or just catch your attention. They catch your attention for a reason. Also code things that confirm what you expect or verify your hypothesis. You can code for any patterns or trends, meaning things that repeat or come up a few times. You can code for limitations, things that inspire new questions or avenues to research. You can also make codes for connections. If two things appear frequently in tandem or seem related, it would be worth analyzing and noting. I highly recommend that you make a post-it note or index card with these guideline questions to help you as you code your own Project 1 data. So what can this look like? Here's an example of coding interview data for someone's research on TB. The researcher has taken their typed transcript of their interview and organized it into a table by question or topic. Then they color-coded the sections of quotes for major takeaways, trends, or significant findings. You can see that red and purple appear twice in this data. This means a trend is forming. Blue and green, on the other hand, appear only once by themselves. They're still important, though. Blue and green could confirm previous research or provide a new avenue to investigate. This is why eliciting stories in your interview is so valuable. The more details your participant can give, the more data you have to code, and the more codes you have, the more patterns you can identify. Coding really is a process of making data accessible and making trends more obvious. However, even though this table is really nice and effective, something is missing. Even though we coded, we are still missing the actual analysis. Remember our definition of analysis from a few weeks ago? We know that coding breaks down quotes into parts, and it lets us connect the dots of those parts. But we haven't made our conclusion yet. We need to answer, so what? Here is an example of taking a code and making a conclusion. The text reads, the code for fear showed up multiple times, such as when participant C uses words like worry and scared. This word choice in particular demonstrates the many forms of fear that the participant feels on a daily basis. Such an emphasis on fear suggests that patients are hyper-aware of their condition, which could wear on mental health. We see in red that we've identified the result, or the quotes and codes we came up with. But we haven't yet said if this is important or what this means. That's why we need the conclusion. Towards the end of that section or paragraph, note the word suggests. That's when things start turning to blue. This word is what signifies that I'm going to try and make a claim or assessment based on the data. I'm going beyond summary now and trying to figure out what it means. I'm answering so what, but you could also answer things like why or how. My answer could also be interpreted differently by another researcher. It's just like the menu in ordering food. We all see that fear appears a certain number of times. We all read the quotes with words worry and scared. But for me, I'm the one ordering and suggesting that this could mean there's a wear on mental health. Analysis will take lots of practice. It doesn't come easy. So for this quiz this week, I'll be asking you to look at some quotes and practice the process of this video. You'll code the responses, find a pattern, find a significant phrasing, and then make a conclusion about it. If you feel stuck in this process, check out the files for Unit 1. In the analysis folder there are many more coding examples, and even a picture of guiding questions to help spur analysis. Don't be afraid to use these. As you do the quiz, just make sure to give it a try. The more you practice, the easier it can get.